bitch ass nigga. All you YB fans, you bitch ass nigga better block me today, nigga. This little bitch ass nigga on this whole pay me, doing all type of shit. G Money been said he was a hoe. Finna get on that Fredo shit, nigga. Stamp you niggas. Nah, for real.
NBA YoungBoy just humiliated this Dallas rapper in the most savage way possible, and the leaked footage is insane. Montana 700 got straight up handled by YoungBoy and his crew backstage at YB's own show, all because of some old trash talk that came back to bite him hard. This whole situation's wild because Montana thought he was in the clear. Back in 2021, he wasn't even known like that when he posted the video. So he figured nobody would care, but the internet always remembers. And when those clips started resurfacing, YoungBoy made sure this dude learned exactly who he was messing with. I've got the full rundown on how this went from harmless internet trolling to straight-up career suicide. This story's messy, so let's get into how dissing Lil Top turned into a full-blown reality check. To understand why Montana 700 got pressed backstage, we gotta rewind to December 2021 when this whole drama first kicked off. That's when NBA YoungBoy dropped his Blackball music video, and the internet went nuts for all the wrong reasons. In that video, YoungBoy was experimenting with his look, black nail polish, makeup, the whole artistic vibe. It threw people off, and fans started debating whether he was switching up his brand. But one thing was for sure, this was still NBA YoungBoy, one of the hardest rappers in the game, showing a new side of himself. Then came Montana 700, a complete unknown from Dallas with barely a few thousand followers, thinking this was his big break. He saw an opportunity to go viral by clowning one of the most respected names in hip-hop. The nerve of this dude was wild. Montana got on camera addressing his fans, talking reckless about how anyone's still rocking with YoungBoy after that video was tripping. He laughed, cursed YB out, and threw all kinds of slick talk trying to make him look weak. But what he didn't realize was that clowning someone like YoungBoy, who's already proven himself in the streets, was the dumbest move he could have made. The disrespect ran deep. This wasn't just about makeup or nails. It was a straight-up attack on YoungBoy's manhood, his street rep, and everything that made him who he is. Montana wasn't just cracking jokes. He was trying to clown YB for clout, using his name to get attention instead of earning it. And the timing made it even worse. This all went down while YoungBoy was fighting legal battles, getting blackballed by the industry, and dealing with real-life pressure. For some random Dallas rapper to kick a man while he was down, that was low. The craziest part? Montana 700 was a nobody at the time. No hits, no buzz, no stripes in the streets. Just another dude chasing viral fame by stirring chaos. He probably thought YoungBoy would never notice that video, or even if he did, he wouldn't waste his time responding. But that's the thing about success, it always brings your old dirt back into the light. Fast forward to 2024 and 2025, Montana finally started building a little name in the Dallas rap scene. Nothing major, but enough buzz to get people talking and digging through his past. That's when the 2021 clip came crawling back from the grave. And once it hit the blogs, everything exploded. See, this is how the internet really works. The second you start blowing up, people dig up every old post, every shady comment, every messy video just to see if you've ever slipped. And Montana's video trashing YoungBoy? That was perfect ammo for drama-hungry fans. It spread like wildfire on hip-hop blogs, Twitter threads, and Instagram pages. Folks started tagging both of them, saying things like, "Ain't no way YB forgot about this." Some people laughed it off, calling it old news. Others were waiting to see if YoungBoy would finally respond. But Montana? He probably thought he was safe. It had been nearly 4 years since he said all that nonsense. He was focused on dropping new tracks and building his image, not realizing his past was creeping back to haunt him. And that's where he messed up big time. He forgot who he was dealing with, NBA YoungBoy. Doesn't forget disrespect, no matter how long it's been. In his world, there's no expiration date on a violation. When you cross a man like that, time don't erase the debt, it just delays the payback. When that old video resurfaced, it couldn't have hit at a worse time, or for YoungBoy, a better one. This wasn't the 2021 version of him dealing with court dates and record label drama. This was 2025 YoungBoy, the undisputed king of his lane, untouchable, with one of the most loyal fan bases in rap. He'd already silenced the haters and proved every critic wrong. And when you're sitting at the top like that, old disrespect hits different. It's no longer about the words, it's about principle. Back then, Montana tried to clown him when he was struggling. Now that YB was winning again, it was time to remind everyone what happens when you play with the wrong one. September 2nd, 2025, that night was supposed to be chill. Montana 700's homie, Huncho Amir, had just gotten the call to perform at YoungBoy's Dallas show, and Montana decided to roll through to show support. It should have been a good night, his boy performing on a huge stage, big names in the building, and a chance to rub shoulders with real players in the game. Montana was probably thinking this was his moment. Maybe he could even smooth things over if YoungBoy remembered that old clip. In his mind, he'd say it was all just young and dumb energy, no harm meant, and move on like grown men. But that was his biggest mistake, assuming YB would let it slide. What Montana didn't realize was that YoungBoy doesn't forget anything. After years of fighting the system, fake friends and snakes in the industry, he keeps receipts. Every diss, every shady move, it all gets stored away. So when Montana showed up backstage thinking it was all love, YB already knew who he was dealing with. And to make it worse, Huncho Amir being his friend just made things more complicated. Amir was getting the biggest look of his career, performing next to a superstar, but having Montana by his side turned that opportunity into a ticking time bomb. When they pulled up to the venue, Montana was feeling himself backstage at a massive show, surrounded by success, soaking in the moment. He had no clue the past was about to walk right up and check him face to face. At first, the vibe backstage was all love. People were congratulating Huncho Amir on his big shot, and Montana was soaking in that shine like he was part of the win. Cameras flashing, folks laughing, the energy was cool. But what Montana didn't know was that YoungBoy had already seen that resurfaced video. Either someone from his team showed it to him, or he came across it himself scrolling through social media. Either way, YB knew exactly who Montana 700 was and exactly what he'd said back in 2021. So the moment Montana stepped foot backstage, he was walking straight into a setup he didn't even see coming. That's when Montana's past finally caught up with him and fast. 1 minute he's chilling, probably feeling like he belongs, and the next thing you know, he's face to face with NBA YoungBoy himself. Witnesses say YB walked right up on him. No hesitation, no middlemen, no subliminals, just straight confrontation. He wanted answers. Sources close to the situation say YoungBoy looked him dead in the eye and brought up that 2021 video word for word. No confusion, no small talk, just pure tension in the air. Montana tried to explain. Maybe say it was just jokes, or he didn't mean it like that, but when it comes to respect, explanations don't mean a thing. The disrespect was public, and that meant the payback had to be public too. And that's when things got real ugly. YB didn't handle this with words, his team did the talking with their hands. It turned into a full-blown backstage beatdown that had Montana questioning his entire life in seconds. They say it wasn't even about the pain, it was about humiliation. In the rap world, a slap means way more than a punch. It's not just about violence, it's a statement that says, you're not even worth fighting for real. It's pure disrespect. Montana went from being a rising name in Dallas to getting publicly embarrassed by one of the biggest artists in the game. That moment probably flipped his whole world upside down. 1 second he's chasing the dream, and the next, he's living a nightmare that'll follow him forever. The mental hit from something like that, man, it cuts deep. Getting pressed like that at YoungBoy's own show, surrounded by his team and industry eyes, wasn't just a punishment, it was a public humiliation. Montana didn't just take a loss physically, his reputation got shattered right there in front of the people who could have helped his career take off. He wasn't just being checked, he was being made an example of. But here's where things take a wild twist, and it might have saved the streets from going up in flames. Word is, the whole beatdown got caught on camera. Yeah, the entire thing, and that footage somehow made its way to Say Cheese's owner. Now, for those who don't know, Say Cheese is one of the biggest hip-hop media outlets in the game, famous for dropping exclusives, interviews, and street-breaking news. So when folks heard they had the footage, everybody expected chaos, millions of views, endless reposts, the whole internet going crazy. But what happened next shocked everyone. The owner of Say Cheese refused to post it. He decided to keep the video locked away. And his reason? He didn't want the situation to blow up even worse. Think about that in a world where clicks and controversy rule the game. This man passed on guaranteed viral gold. He knew dropping that footage could light a match in the middle of a gas station, rappers, fans, and street crews all reacting, and things getting ugly fast. That's how serious this situation was. And if Say Cheese, a platform that lives off exclusive drama, didn't dare to post it, you know it had to be bad. The footage must have shown Montana getting completely humiliated, not just roughed up, but stripped of every ounce of pride he had left. Posting that could have destroyed his entire image before his career even had a chance to grow. That decision actually showed some real respect for the culture. The Say Cheese owner understood that some things don't belong online because once a clip like that drops, it spreads uncontrollably. People start picking sides, threatening violence, and suddenly a small check turns into a full-on street war. He even said off the record that releasing it could have led to someone getting their taco tapped, meaning real danger, not internet talk. And that's the chilling part. Even though the footage never went public, everyone knows it exists. That alone puts pressure on Montana every single day. He's living with the fear that one upload could end whatever's left of his career. And the craziest part? YoungBoy didn't need the footage to go viral to send his message. He found his own way to let the world know business had been handled. The story didn't stay quiet for long. Once whispers hit social media, it spread like wildfire. Hip-hop blogs started picking it up, fans were posting clips and memes, and before long, everyone was talking about what went down backstage. But then YoungBoy made one silent move that confirmed everything. When those blogs posted about Montana getting pressed, YB went and liked the posts. Now, that might sound small, just a simple tap on a screen, but in the world of hip-hop politics, that's a full-blown statement. A like from the man himself is confirmation. That was YoungBoy's way of saying, yeah, it happened, and I'm good with it. With that one move, he sent a clear message not just to Montana, but to the entire rap game. I see everything. I remember everything. And business gets handled. It was quiet power, the kind that hits harder than a public rant or a diss track. YB didn't need to post the footage, brag online, or say a single word. That subtle flex told everyone the score, and it worked. Fans knew exactly what it meant. Artists knew what line not to cross. And Montana? He knew that any chance at spinning the narrative was gone. That one silent confirmation turned into a warning to anyone else thinking about throwing shade his way. You might clown today. But YB doesn't forget. Time might pass, but disrespect never expires in his book. And that's where things started crashing down for Montana. 700. The impact on his career was brutal. Word travels fast in the industry, especially when it involves NBA YoungBoy. Even without the footage dropping, the streets were already talking, and everyone knew what had gone down. In hip-hop, respect is everything. Once people see you get checked without standing tall, your credibility's gone. That tough guy image Montana built up, finished. Whatever street points he had, gone in a flash. One backstage incident erased everything he worked for. The fallout didn't just hurt his name, it froze his future. Other artists started keeping their distance. Nobody wants to link up with someone who just got handled by YB's crew, especially when that situation could drag more heat their way. All those potential collabs, shows, and features that could have leveled up his career, off the table. Montana's team probably had to scramble new PR strategy, damage control, rebranding, all to save an image that was already cracked beyond repair. And even beyond the music, the mental hit must have been rough. Imagine waking up every day knowing your biggest L is one viral post away from destroying you completely. The footage exists, the fans know, and the industry's watching. For Montana, this wasn't just a career setback. It was a humiliation that might haunt him forever. Getting done like that, especially in front of industry eyes, messes with your whole mindset. Every time Montana walks into a studio, an event, or a backstage area now, people remember that night in Dallas. It's written all over the whispers, the side glances, the awkward silences. Once your name gets tied to public humiliation like that, it's almost impossible to shake off. But beyond just two rappers clashing, there's a much bigger lesson in all this. The situation between NBA YoungBoy and Montana 700 shines a spotlight on what respect and consequences really mean in the rap world. This wasn't just about an old video, it's about how disrespect never truly disappears, no matter how much time passes. Montana's biggest mistake was thinking that time would make his words irrelevant. He probably figured, that was years ago, nobody cares anymore. But that's not how it works in hip-hop. In this culture, disrespect ages like a scar, it fades, but it never goes away, especially when it's aimed at someone like YoungBoy, who's known for having a long memory and a short tolerance for disrespect. And what really changed the game? Social media. Back in the day, a slick comment might stay in a barbershop or a small crowd. Now, everything's recorded, saved, and waiting to resurface the second your name starts buzzing. Every live, every post, every joke, it all becomes digital evidence. That's exactly what happened to Montana. In 2021, that video probably felt harmless, just a local rapper trying to get attention by talking about a superstar. But those few seconds of clout chasing ended up costing him everything: his reputation, his respect, and maybe even his shot at a career. This whole ordeal also exposes how power really moves in hip-hop. When you're at the top, like YoungBoy, you get to decide when and how to address disrespect. You call the shots. But when you're coming up from the bottom, you don't get that luxury, you just deal with whatever comes your way. Montana didn't have the backing, the status, or the strength to push back once that door closed behind him. At its core, Montana 700's downfall is a brutal reminder of how one careless moment can shadow your whole future. One reckless post, one disrespectful video, one wrong word, that's all it takes to ruin years of grind. In this game, the streets might forgive, but the internet, never. And in hip-hop, where respect is currency, once you lose that, you're broke for real. Montana 700 thought he could climb the ladder by tearing down NBA YoungBoy, but all he really did was dig his own grave. Instead of blowing up off disrespect, he created an enemy powerful enough to crush everything he was trying to build. And when Say Cheese, one of the biggest platforms in hip-hop, refused to drop the footage that said everything, when a major outlet is too scared to post a clip because it might cause real-world chaos, you know the violation went way too far. Montana didn't just get checked, he got made an example of. And for YoungBoy, this whole situation just solidified his image as someone who never forgets, never forgives, and always gets the last word. The way he confirmed it all with just a few social media likes showed pure confidence, the type that comes from knowing you're untouchable. He didn't need to post a video, brag online, or say a word. His silence said it louder than anything else. Everyone already knew what happened, and the message was crystal clear. Disrespect comes with consequences. The lesson here? Respect is earned, but disrespect lasts forever. Montana 700 learned that the hard way when his old words came back years later to end his run before it even started. In a culture where your reputation is your currency, one reckless moment can cost you everything. This story is going to follow Montana for the rest of his life, a permanent reminder that in hip-hop, your mouth can write checks, your career can't cash. Whether he bounces back or fades out completely, one thing's for sure, he'll never cross NBA YoungBoy again. And that's it for today, fam. This story had it all: old beef, street justice, and the kind of lesson that'll make you think twice before running your mouth online. If you want more exclusive stories about what really goes down behind the scenes in hip-hop, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Trust me, the streets got plenty more stories to tell, and I'll be right here to break them all down for you. See you on the next video.